Hi everybody, my name is Susan Thomas and I'm an Emerald coach with Beachbody, and this is my son who turns 3 in just a couple weeks. And today I wanted to go over real quick those articles that you come across that have done some sort of study on a food or fitness or something related to your health. And today I want to go over how to read articles like this, how to know, quiet honey, how to know whether to take the article seriously or not. And the first thing I want to make clear is that people who write these articles, whether you see it in the newspaper, on an online magazine, wherever you come across it, whether it be a news story on TV, whatever, the people who write these articles very often take a study and completely blow it out of proportion. A really good example of this is the egg study that came out some years ago, where a group of people did a study and said eggs are really bad for you, you shouldn't eat them. Well, what happened was some other people in that same field said that doesn't sound right, and they took a look at the data and they said this doesn't seem valid, this just does not ring true for us. We're going to do this study over again, and we're going to be more careful, and we're going to make sure to implement more careful standards for the study. And they did, and they found that while yes, eggs can lead to bad cholesterol, they also have a lot of good nutrients for you, and you shouldn't eliminate them out of your diet completely. So you have to be really, really, really careful with articles like that. I learned when I was studying to be a psychologist, I took a class that basically taught me how to read articles like that, taught me how to read the studies and decide for myself whether or not to take it seriously, decide for myself whether or not this is valid. And one of the ways we do that is we look at the actual physical study they're talking about and decide, does this have errors? Is this something I should take seriously? One common mistake that we see a lot in studies like this is the test group. It's not diverse enough to apply to a whole population, and so therefore the test results become invalid. Or the people conducting the study were extremely biased, and it's very clear from the test or the research, and that makes the entire study invalid, among other types of errors that are out there. And one of the ways you can understand what they're really truly saying is understanding the wording. There are certain words and titles that can lead you to believe whether it be causation or correlation. If it says something like such and such has been found to be related to, that does not mean it causes, it means it just has a relationship. They often go hand in hand, but neither one causes the other. Causes, you would actually have something like heart attacks are caused by high blood pressure. That would be a cause type article. And like I said, you gotta know what they're saying first of all. Know whether they're saying there's a relationship or whether there's actual causation. There's a huge difference between the two. An example of correlation in your everyday life is, for example, in the summer, like it is now. Honey, can you be super quiet? In the summer, like there is now, ice cream sales go up, but so does crime. Now, you can't say that because ice cream sales go up, that it's causing crime. But you can say there's some sort of relationship there because they both go up at the same time of year. That's correlation. Ice cream sales do not cause crime, but crime goes up the same time as ice cream sales do. So there's some sort of relationship there. And chances are the relationship is the nice weather. But all in all, so let's say you understand how to read the titles and what it's actually trying to tell you. The other part is you have to be extremely careful with what's being said and what they're trying to pass off to you as fact. Because oftentimes they're just looking for a good headline to get people to read their magazine, to read their newspaper, to watch their news program. So they'll blow things out of proportion, and they'll take a study that really is not valid and could be easily disproven by someone else in the field and pass it off as truth. So I highly recommend that you actually read the study for yourself and decide for yourself. That's the only real way to know if what they're saying is honestly truthful or not. If you run across an article that references this study and they don't link you to the actual study, chances are there's something hinky with the study, and you need to seriously question whether to take that study seriously or not. Or if you click on it and it takes you to a site where you have to pay a fortune to read the study, while there may be some validity to it, there's no way of knowing for sure, and just take what they're saying with a grain of salt. You don't have to completely disregard articles, but take it with a grain of salt, and know that there's a good chance that with these articles that pop up in the media so often, there's a good chance that perhaps it was done in a study that wasn't done up to proper standards in the science field. That there was probably some errors in it, because often the valid studies fly under the radar because they're just not that exciting. And they prefer to go after the more exciting sounding studies that don't necessarily have the validity to it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're reading articles like that, don't scare yourself because of something it says, or do a dramatic change because of something it says. Be aware that articles like that are often blown out of proportion, and they ignore whether a study is valid or not. You need to seriously question whether that is something that makes sense with the common sense health and nutrition information that is out there. So be careful with what you read and take to heart. And remember, science is science, it's always changing. And these articles these studies they often choose often have errors to them. So be very, very careful with what you're reading and taking seriously. I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope this helped. Feel free to pass it on. It's always good to know how to read an article like that.